Kansas City Chiefs. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. They come up in an offset eye. Here we go with Jamal Charles. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
First play of the drive. Let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
And this one caught by Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Travis Kelce, 66 yards. And the Chiefs are going to take a first-quarter lead. And his kick is good to make it 7-0 KC. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And they'll go on the ground. And this defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. The linebacker, Derek Johnson, in on the stop. And a wide receiver to watch in this offense, certainly Jordy Nelson.
And most defenses watch him run past them. Jordy Nelson can run every route in the route tree and take it to the house.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. Rodgers to throw on second down. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and they're going to have a third down. And let's take a look at the defensive starters for Kansas City.
Marcus Peters is a former first-round pick who has great anticipation and tremendous ball skills.
Completed pass on second down. Now it's third down as the defense looks for the stop. On play action. Now Rodgers. And that is incomplete. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver. And it's fourth down.
The defensive coordinator came into this game with a plan to get to the quarterback with whatever type of pressure is necessary. It's working to perfection for him today.
On fourth down, the Packers hand things over to Jake Shum to punt it. Back deep for Kansas City, DeAnthony Thomas. He'll send this one into the Midwestern air, and it's a good one. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. And now here comes Kansas City. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see that sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
If you love pressure,
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
No matter what defense is called versus a running play, linebackers are telling the defensive guys up front, you take care of the offensive line, keep us uncovered, let us run to the ball, we'll make big plays. Well, that paid off there. All the guys up front, the big fellas, they controlled the 5 offensive linemen. That allowed the linebackers to see the openings, sprint through the gap, and snuff that play out in a hurry.
It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on 3rd down. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Well, let's see. Yeah, the offense still out there. They elect to go on 4th and 11. They are going for it. And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. Now the Packers get set to go. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how the defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop.
And the 2016 NFL Comeback Player of the Year was Jordy Nelson. He had a fantastic year after the knee injury in 2015. Well over 1,000 yards again. And once again, he was the #1 target for Aaron Rodgers.
NFL high, 14 receiving touchdowns. What dimension does he add that makes them so good on offense?
Dependability as well as speed. All right, Jordy Nelson's the type of guy who can run any route you want, yet he can also take the top off of a defense, as we like to say, by running past people. It's a heck of a combination to deal with. Plus, Aaron Rodgers knows when he gets in trouble, he just looks for Jordy Nelson, and 9.9 times out of 10, he'll find a way to get open.
And it's up and good. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Now the Chiefs offense, they get ready to head on the field. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. And now a peek at the starters on the defensive side. Now it's Smith. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And the stiff arm made it a pretty little run. Not a huge gain, but a nice chunk of yardage.
There are certain words that sometimes we overuse, but there's one that's really welcome on a player's resume, and that's the word breakout. And I thought Travis Kelce was one of the breakout stars of 2016 in the NFL. What a season he had with Kansas City.
Over 1,100 yards. Now, to put that into perspective with everybody else that was catching the football for them, the next closest had 593 for the Chiefs. So, breakout year indeed.
And for me, it's how he did it, because he did it in a variety of ways. Whether he's an inline tight end, a guy could split out and really become a wide receiver, and then when he caught the ball, he ran like he was a running back.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And complete right side to Cook. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Jared Cook, 31 yards. And the Packers have taken the lead. And he knocks it through. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. And last time we saw them go for it in kind of an unusual situation. It's not like it's a fourth quarter do or die. They went for it, didn't get it. We'll see how that affects them this go-around.
Partner, I'm wondering if we're starting to see the effects of analytics coming into play here, where people are studying the number of possessions, how many times you should go for it. what position it leaves your team in. Maybe we're starting to see a little bit of that creeping into the NFL game.
Yeah, I think we've seen it in other sports, maybe into the NFL now as well. It's a gain of 20 that time, and that'll be good for a KC first down.
Well, partner, I have to say they caught him in the right defense there. Nickel set, fifth defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. On second down, Jamal Charles. Room here to run. And he'll cut it to the left sideline. And they're able to get this one down to the 25.
You know what's really hard for a big-time running back? Is patience. Being able to hang in there when the runs aren't there, when you're taking some hits early in the game. But this drive, oh, he's come alive, and in a big way. Now he's starting to gallop.
That is caught inside the 5. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelce with his second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Chiefs have tied it, and they can take the lead with the extra point. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin as the Chiefs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter. As we'll see one following the score on the final play before break. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. Well, you mind if we go off topic for a second?
No, let's
you know
go.
I like to do that randomly. AFC playoff contenders for this year that didn't make it last season. Who do you have that might get in?
Well, I think Cincinnati's got to be considered there. Maybe they'd have an offseason that's calm, and they go into this season and try and get back to the playoffs where they've been perennials. How about Denver?
Yeah.
Remember last year, they didn't have the quarterback to start. Trevor Siemian played pretty well overall, but maybe they can get solidified there and ride that strong defense right back into the playoffs. I'm going to give you a couple a little bit off the pace. Indianapolis cannot afford to squander Andrew Luck, one of the better young quarterbacks in the game. They've got to get back to the playoffs. And Buffalo, brand new head coach, brand new people running the ball club. Let's see if they can figure it out, because I think defensively they can be awfully strong. And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. That incompletion, Charles, gives me a chance to put you on the clock real quick. NFC teams last year that did not make the playoffs that might make a push this coming year.
Well, three that come to mind right away that we thought were going to be in 2016. Minnesota, remember the start they got off to before that didn't work out so well for them. Arizona, we thought they were a lock to be in the playoffs. In fact, many of us called them Super Bowl contenders. And Carolina, the defending NFC champs going into last season, they didn't make it. So I think that all three could return to former glory. I'm going to give you one way off the pace here. You ready?
Let's go.
The Los Angeles Rams.
Ooh.
They get the young quarterback going, and that defense continues to live up to expectations. They can make a real strong push in the West.
They've got the D. You're right. They just need the O. And if they want to keep this drive alive, they'll need 8 yards here on third down. Throwing is Rodgers on third down. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
All right, let's go ahead and try and get into the body and the mind of the linebackers. Yeah, I know they're bigger and stronger than I ever was, but in this situation, they understood what was going on as much as the offensive guys, because the offensive guys always taught, find the first down sticks and make the play. Well, on defense, what do you want to do? Guard the first down line. Make sure they don't get there and tackle them in front. They were able to drop in their zone coverage, figure out where the first down line was, and end up making the play, swatting it away so they couldn't get the completion.
Play clock winding down. And with a play clock about to expire, Mike McCarthy's going to take a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on 4th down. They do go for it. It's Rodgers. It's caught. Nelson. Call it an even 20 yards on the pickup. And they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together.
And that's a big pickup of a first down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Time running out here on the play clock. They'll run it now out of the gun. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
And this seemingly endless drive continues.
319!
On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. That's complete right around the 8. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal. And now for the offense, this is play number 11 here on this drive. So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. We're back to Arrowhead after this. Shift together here from the D-line. They come out here in the eye. 1st down and goal. The offense knocking on the door. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. Aaron Rodgers on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Packers have moved out in front. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. Looks like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard. I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a game. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
Demetrius Harris, the intended target, and it's 3rd and short. And on On third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Short yardage situation. Here's Charles. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
On first down, it's Charles again. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now it's the Princeton man. This is Spencer Ware. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. Back to throw, Smith. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to wind into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Sam Shields. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. He's going to sling this deep downfield. It's caught at the 10. And he's going to be marked down deep into Kansas City territory. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you termed that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. They're going to hurry back to the line now.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
Oh, and the hard count might have got him. This might be a first down. Following the penalty now, Lacey. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. They go play action for Lacey. Now Rodgers. The left side throw complete to Adams. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Second down, 8. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
26.
Now Rodgers throwing on second down. And they're going to bring him down. Back across midfield at the 45. Allen Bailey in there to drop him. And it'll be a loss of about 8. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime. On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. It gets it over the middle to Cobb. Randall Cobb on the breakaway. Touchdown, Packers. Randall Cobb, 54 yards. And the Packers add on to their lead. Good pass, clean catch, and a house call there on the fly route.
And not that much room to operate. So that tells you about his acceleration. We always talk about being able to go from 0 to 60 real fast. It took him less time than that to get to top speed and complete that play.
This will be taken in at the 1. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Here's Smith now on second down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. And he'll wind up losing 5 yards or so on the return, but no matter, they've got the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot, but there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is there not?
It certainly is, and then even before we get to the draft, you start with the combine. You know, that's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that will get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March, where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams. So your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction. And then you have the OTAs and minicamps. We get to see them on the field for the first time. And we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins.
Second down to the offense, needing 5 yards. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fall forward to the 29-yard line. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. And he goes in motion here in the backfield. And the wideout in motion. From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. It's caught. Nelson. 23 yards on the play. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
And he motions the wide receiver. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. They come out here in the eye. Second down, goal to go from the 6. They stay on the ground. This time it's Lacy. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
I have to laugh a little bit because he actually handed it off. I thought with the 2 touchdown passes he's thrown in this one already, he'd go ahead and fling and try and get a third one.
Yeah, now from this spot on third down, I think he'd probably throw it here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. They won't even send in a running play here, I don't believe. I think they go ahead and try and throw it for a touchdown.
So 3rd and goal, the defense in the dime.
Can still bring pressure.
No gain on the play that time, so a big stop, and it's going to leave him with a 4th and goal. We're back now in KC. It's Packer football here as they've got the lead as well to begin the 4th quarter. And I guess not content to get another 3 here late. They'll try to add 6 more as they go on 4th and goal. Rodgers going to go on touchdown, Packers. Jared Cook.